Hi, I'm Chris, and we're Zippo Manufacturing Company. We make the world-famous Zippo windproof lighter. From being initially named after the zipper by our founder, Mr. Blaisdell, who then finally settled in on the word Zippo because he thought it had a great modern sound to it, to the actual flick and click of our lighter when you open the lid. You may have seen us in thousands of films and TV shows. That's us. And the company's doing well. We're launching a lot of new products every year. And it's more than just lighters. Recently, we've expanded into a real badass kind of range of products. Some of those are matches. Zippo makes matches. Who would have thought that, right? But we do them Zippo style. They're windproof and waterproof. You can't put them out. We also have these cool candle lighters with these arc heads on them to light our candles, and they're rechargeable, so they're easy to use. We have these butane torches, different versions that you can slide in and out. We also have an arc version that you can slide in, so you can recharge a Zippo lighter. I mean, who would have thought you could recharge a Zippo lighter? And then rechargeable hand warmers, not only for your hands, but it has an extra power source, a power bank to charge your phone or your other devices. And these are some great products. They didn't happen overnight, as you can imagine. We had a whole team of people working on them. And that team is us, mostly pushed by the innovation team, but there's all kinds of other teams within the company. There's engineering, and we're working with our brand and sales managers. We're working with our purchasing staff. And for 88 years, we have one factory, and it's a mile down the road. We can go into that factory. We can see that factory. We can be in it. For the longest time, we had just the lighter. But then over time, we wanted to expand the range of products overseas to diversify, just like anybody else would. When we have to go overseas, you're dealing with other companies. You're dealing with the different products. We have to find factories. We've got to narrow them down. We've got to vet the factories. And it takes time to figure out who you even want to partner with, let alone are they making the product at your right quality. They're different. We have to understand the requirements. And what do we have to do to support this product, to launch it in the markets globally that we're going to do? It's way more complicated than, oh, we've been doing that for 80 years. We know that we're going to go to this country and we're working with XYZ company. Now, every time we're going into a new product category, there's a massive process to make sure that we're getting the right products, we're dealing with the right people, we're representing the brand with the quality that we expect. Around 2017, it became the tipping point for us. It was just getting to be too much. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the way we were managing the products and the methods were just outdated. So the challenge was we were starting to burn out. But we have meetings every 2 weeks, and we're heavily dependent on individual staff coming to the meeting, and there's not a lot of collaboration. And we've got anywhere from 15 to 22 different people that we're talking to. We're putting together workbooks for the next meeting, and then we would print it for people to come into the meeting, and we'd come into the meeting, and people wouldn't have the right version of the presentation. It's a ton of work. Just to explain what's going on, and we could have been probably further ahead. By the time you go through a couple of these cycles, you have multiple documents, you have people not sure which ones to bring. We're printing stuff, we're bringing it, they have copies, we have enough copies, we don't have enough copies. As you can see here, our products were surpassing us, and it basically says it all. Our products were going digital, and we were kind of stuck in this analog mode, and we needed to find a better way to manage these products and be more efficient with our time. And so 2018, we started looking for a new solution. My boss found monday.com from a sister company of ours, WRK & Sons Cutlery, who makes great knives here in the US. And I instantly signed up for the free trial. And right away, the difference was huge. We were live, we were active, and everything was proactive, not reactive like the old process. The old process was just very static. This is live, and there's one place for the information. So within getting that trial, I was able to recreate within a day or two the basic workbooks that we had, get the structure, get it working, and then within another day or two, we had it all up and running. And it was mind-blowing that we were able to do that so quickly. And man, it was instantaneous. It felt like there was no limits to what we could do. And then we wanted to start pushing those limits, and it's working great. What else can we do? Can we automate? We discovered automation. When they came out with automation, it was fantastic. Sliced bread, if you will. And so can we automate a board 100%? How many automations are there? Can we put enough of them on there that we don't have to have a human remember something? Because that's the last thing we all want to do is remember stuff. So in this particular use case, we need a home office approval from a team around the world. So our Asian teams send in to the office what they need to have approved. It could be a marketing material. It could be some portion of a product or a gift set. It could be just anything that another supplier is going to put the Zippo name on. So the request comes in on a form through a board. There's 4 or 5 documents that they'll upload, and then there's 15 questions or so that comes in. It alerts us. It timestamps when it came in, and then based on that, we just start layering the automation on top of it. We're going to move the request up a couple groups to the top, and then eventually archive it. And while it's bouncing up and down in a couple areas, there's four people. The automation automatically assigns them, and then based on the timestamp, it's poking them and saying, "Are you done? Your work's coming up. You need to be finished." Then it moves up to another level, and then the request is going to start bouncing back and forth between their office on the other side of the world and us. And in between some of those, we're using an email integration. So when a status gets changed, it's emailing the next step. It's also emailing something that happened, and it's pulling in a wider group of people. And that's all being done by automation. It's not the staff having to do that. They ultimately upload some final documentation. It alerts us. We download it, and then it'll automatically archive. And then with this, the process just kind of repeats itself. So the impact, huge. It's connecting us to our teams halfway around the world, and it's the right focus. So next, how do we move faster? That's great. We've got automation helping us. How can we speed this up even more? This use case is an international expansion. Our sales team comes to us and says, "Hey, we've got this great opportunity. We need to get these products into the market as soon as possible. How soon can we do it? And what do we have to do?" It's a request where stop what you're doing, everybody get on this, and we need to work on it. So we're able to take a spreadsheet. One of the great features of Monday is you can upload a spreadsheet right to a board. So we create a SKU board, stock keeping unit. That's basically all the individual products that we need to launch in this initiative. We got to get those up on the board, and we got to get a look at them. So we can prioritize them, put them in phases. We can understand where they're being made. Some of them are being made in 3 different countries, multiple different teams, different continents. And there's different requirements for all of that, of course. So we can see that, we can kind of schedule it, we can kind of see what's going on. Next is the project board. The project board houses what needs to be done, who needs to do it, and by when. So this is the work. This is the heart of what's going on here. And we're able to we can build a couple templates in the groups, and then we can apply those quickly, cut and paste, kind of a feature. And that becomes the working area for what's going to happen. Then the next thing is the dashboard. How do we tie it all together with a high-level summary? And that's what the dashboard does for us. It is a great use of management's time. You need something to summarize pretty quickly. And the impact here was huge. It was the year maker, or a quarter maker. It helps you hit your sales revenue targets. And so having all these boards and these features, being able to put them together and moving at this speed to be able to go back to upper management and say, "Hey, look, here's the big picture," but then be able to distill it down to just the pieces that you need to share with the right teams was huge. And the combination of some of these features just let you do that. So now we're looking at we did a big project. We've got automation running. How can we track this better on a daily granular level with each of the tasks? So what we're doing here is the use cases is a change versus the baseline. And there's a couple formula columns on the right. There's a baseline. And based upon when you completed the task, were you early? Were you late? Were you on time? Are you a day ahead? Are you 2 days behind? And it's capturing all of that at a granular level. So then we can take a look at it and make better decisions today based on what we just did today. Before, you're just kind of creating tasks and you're keeping track of it, and you're not really comparing to what you said you were going to do. So now you're getting this better data, you can make better decisions, and what you're doing today affects tomorrow. You're just looking further down the road because you know what happened. And that's a huge, huge benefit. Next up was, how can we track the projects better at a higher level? We did a big project, we got the automation running, we got the granular stuff. Now we need to tie it all together. And dashboards are a fantastic tool. If you're not using dashboards, definitely want to explore those because you can take these and distill them down. We're showing battery widgets here with a few other widgets, high level, showing what the projects are doing and where they're going. We're capturing the day's difference, like we just talked about, and we can see it all at a big, big picture. It's the result and the impact are really great for upper management. You can, like I said, you can distill that down for them. You only need to give them what you need to see, but then you can get a nice recap, and who doesn't like a nice, pretty recap there? So dashboards are huge. Within the dashboard, we started to notice, how could we remove bottlenecks with meetings? How can we continue to keep improving on those meetings that we mentioned? The use case, run a meeting straight from the platform. We'll send out a meeting invite, and that'll just have maybe an agenda in it. Other than that, it's all being done on the board. You don't need to type notes because the pulse is there. You can capture all those updates. Pictures, videos, documents, you can upload it all, and it's right there. What's really cool is we came across the battery widget. And this is what's so important about exploring within the international expansion. We found the battery widget, and it's great. It's an interactive piece of the dashboard. You click on that battery, and it pops open the green items. We're capturing the day's change and the task result. It's showing where that information is on the board directly, and it makes it interactive with a couple clicks of a button. You go up, you close, you move to the next thing, you hit it, and you can dive down in. So you can dive in, dive up, and it recaps it great. The impact is huge. It's meeting efficiency, just continuing to evolve that interaction and engagement and keeping people, live and right there in your meeting. Next is, how else can we expand this even further within our teams? What if we go outside of our teams? So specifically the two on the left there, the supplier dashboards and the product feedback survey. The supplier dashboard, the use case was to shorten our supplier lead time. So we needed some communication from a factory, and they're 12 hours ahead. So getting an answer via email or two takes a day or two because you add up all that time and it just takes so much. So why don't we put them on the board directly instead of them emailing our staff member emailing the group, and then the reply, and then all that back and forth. Let's just go straight to the horse's mouth. Our team members, while we're sleeping, they're making their notes. We get up, boom, they're there. We're working our day, we're putting our notes in. Tomorrow, they have them. So we've been able to speed that up with a dashboard and just a real simple board. But by putting suppliers on there, shortens it much, much better. Product feedback, use case is maybe we have a product that we need an answer from the team in hours. So what we did was create a simple board with a form, 7 questions. Maybe it's a product that we've narrowed down some concepts and we have 3 prototypes and we need to rank them or pick the best or whatnot. So we send that out to the team, get the responses back really quickly. Then you can take the export feature along with the chart features, and you can actually capture those different charts as pictures or different file formats. We took them, created a quick document, and then we're able to back up the feedback fast without having to do a consumer research study or some other bigger long-term thing. We can capture that really quickly, and it's supported by data. So that's a really neat way to deploy feedback in a kind of a unique instance. So for us, a lot of these tactics work really well. We've used a lot of the newer products have received the Monday benefit. They've been launched through the platform in some way, and it's so much faster. All those examples I gave, if we had to do it the old way, it would have taken much, much longer. I mean, months and months and months to analyze something and to launch these things. Now you have the visibility, you have all the tools to be able to understand what you need to do and how quickly you need to do it. And it's made a difference on our end for sure. Just, kind of a last closing thought here, push the limits. It is no limits, and that applies here to Monday. Go out and find all the different features, explore. We found the battery widget. We weren't even really looking for it, but because we're just constantly trying to evolve and improve, we found that, and it's worked out great for us. Monday also has some fantastic support features, webinars. They have a lot of support on the website. We watched a webinar and we found those task results, and we were able to see that information, those formulas from something that they shared with us. So I try to join a webinar at least once a month, as many that will apply to us. And by just looking and keeping your eyes out, I mean, there's going to be something for everybody on this platform. Just in closing, I want to thank you for sitting in on this session. Thanks again, and we'll see you on Monday.